Now we are about to create this bottom Jumbotron part. In the previous part we have discussed how to create and customize our own Jumbotron. So we won't be repeating that process now. Instead, all we are going to do, we need to type in these keywords Bootstrap Jumbotron. In the search list, it is the third list item. So we will be right clicking it and we will be reaching into this particular part which is known as Jumbotron. This is the official website of Bootstrap Responsive Framework. Now from here we can see that there are two segments. In the first segment we can see that this is a normal or container oriented Bootstrap Jumbotron that will be taking a 1200 peaks width, but we need to create a Jumbotron which is something like this one. That means it will be occupying the whole page and it will be having a margin of 15 peaks from both the ends. So instead we will be looking for a Jumbotron fluid, and here it is. This is known as the fluid Jumbotron, and here is the source code. So all we need to do, we need to copy it. In this index.html, all we are now going to do, we are going to paste this. Now if we get back into our project and reload, we can see that this is the loop that it is now presently executing. Now we have placed it here. The second thing is we need to create this 15 peaks of gapping from both the ends, from the left end and from the right end. We are creating another class along with this Jumbotron which will be known as question. Now all we need to do, we need to get back to custom style sheet, and here we will be creating this question class, this question selector name, and we will be providing a margin of, for say, 0.15 peaks for the time being. Now let's get back to our project and we are reloading, and we can see that this is the output. Now we need to create all those elements inside, those we are seeing over here, like this image and this text word. Now in this context, I would like to say that instead of using this text as we have used a text earlier in our tutorial, so instead of using this text element here, let's create some kind of interactive form that will interact with the user. We won't be talking about programming here. We have to design that particular form field through which a user will be interacting with this website. So we'll be creating here an enter email box, and then we'll be creating here a text area field such that the user will be providing here necessary queries. So we'll be creating here a form field instead of this text element. So all we are now going to do, we are going to index.html, and into this div class container, all we are now going to do, we are going to create a call sem4 along with another class known as hello image. So we have created this div. Right now all we need to do, we need to close that div. And in the same fashion, all we are going to do, we are going to create another call sm here. We have created this call sm8. So what is the purpose of creating this call sm? We want our contents to be displayed sidewise in case of a 768 peaks device width, and that is why we have used here call sm. Now if we get back here and reload, we can see that already those two things, this fluid Jumbotron text and this particular paragraph element, both are coming sidewise. And if we press here F12, we can see that this is the first one, this call sm4, and this is the second one, this call sm8. Now all we need to do, we need to modify these two things. So that is why we are getting back to our project, and instead of this h1 class, all we are now going to do, we are going to create here an image source. Now this is the folder name, so we need to copy this folder name first, and then we will be needing that file name from here. This is the file name along with its extension name of .png. Getting back to our project, and we are using it. So we need to provide here an alt tag with a definite image name here. So we are naming it as image11. So it has been provided. Now all we are going to do, we are going to reload, and we can see that this is image part over here, there is a particular padding from the top and from the bottom. So we need to rectify this. First of all, press here F12. There goes this padding top 48 pix and padding bottom 48 pix. And there is another padding element here from the top and from the bottom. So if we just remove all those paddings, we can see that this is the result. So we need to overcome two major problems here. The first one is the padding things, those we have encountered first in the Jumbotron class, and in the second case, the size of this image. It is practically enormous, very big, and if we look into the other way, if we press Ctrl Shift M and get back to our mobile responsiveness view, we can see that this image is practically too big to fit into this device with display. So this is an error. So that is what we need to rectify here. If we use a class known as image responsive, there it goes. And if we get back to our project and reload, we can see now that this image is at a reduced size. And if we press Ctrl Shift M again, we can see that practically this image is now fitting into our device with display. So this is the major thing that we can overcome. Now if we want to modify this padding, if we want to modify it as if here, we can see that there is practically no padding from the top or bottom. So if we get back to our project index.html, we have created a hello image class over here. And on the other hand, we have used a question class along with this Jumbotron fluid. So all we can do, we can get back to custom style sheet, and here we can set this padding thing. It is all experimental. So we are placing here padding to 0 with this important tag. Press Ctrl S, get back to our project and reload. And now we can see that we have diminished the padding from the top and from the bottom of this image. Pressing Ctrl Shift M, getting back to our mobile responsive view, checking the image, yes, it is working well. There's absolutely no problem with it.